Hello everyone, my name is Devki and you're watching D's Planet. Before we move ahead, I would like to really request you to click on that subscribe button if you like my content. That just motivates me to make more useful videos on sustainable living. So ladies, I have a question for you. How many of you know what exactly goes inside a disposable sanitary pad that you wear so close to the most sensitive part of your body? Well, most of the commercially available disposable sanitary pads contain a chemical called as dioxin, which is added to make them appear white and clean. The vaginal skin is permeable. That means it can absorb dioxin directly into the bloodstream. Most of the sanitary pad manufacturers claim that the exposure to dioxin through sanitary pads is insignificant. But we cannot deny the fact that dioxin has the tendency to get accumulated in our body, and it can even cause dreaded diseases like cervical and ovarian cancer. Besides, dioxin is also an immunosuppressant, which means that it can disrupt your hormonal mechanism, which can result in reproductive problems. I hope I'm making my point very clear here. Disposable sanitary pads aren't as great as they are marketed to look. Also, every single disposable sanitary pad that you have ever used is still lying somewhere on the face of this earth. That is because sanitary pads take between 500 to 800 years to biodegrade. Most of the women admit that they used disposable sanitary pads because there is no better choice. But what if I tell you that we now have a really good option available, which is great for your body and great for the environment too? And that option is this, a reusable menstrual cloth pad. So what are these reusable cloth pads? These are pads which are made of cloth, and they have a leak-proof layer which absorbs the flow so that there is no staining. These come in various sizes like small, medium, large, XL, double XL, just like your regular sanitary pads, and depending on your flow, you have to choose a size that fits your need. Now I know the next big question that will pop in everybody's mind is, isn't using a cloth during menstruation unhygienic, and doesn't it cause any infections? Isn't that the main reason why disposable sanitary pads were invented in the first place? Well, let me break down some myths for you. The problem is not with using a cloth. The problem is with using a dirty cloth. A lot of women in rural India, due to poverty, end up using old cloth rags. And since there is a lot of taboo around menstruation, they are not able to wash and take care of it in the most hygienic manner, which leads to infections and other problems. But if you wash your cloth pads properly, dry them in the sun whenever you can, sanitize them basically, then there should be no problem in using a cloth pad. After all, we do wash and reuse our undergarments, which are also made of cloth, right? Personally, I have switched to using cloth pads since the last 1.5 years or so, and let me tell you, the experience has been great. Cloth pads are really comfortable, and you cannot compare the comfort of having an actual cloth versus the plastic layers in a disposable sanitary pad. You use a cloth pad just like you would use a disposable sanitary pad. You need to change it every 4 to 6 hours, or depending on your flow, just to maintain hygiene. Unlike a disposable pad which comes with a sticky tape at the bottom which can stick to your panties, a cloth pad comes with these buttons which will fit snugly around your panties, and this prevents it from moving. Well, don't go by the appearance. A cloth pad is much more absorbent than you think because it's made up of multiple absorbent layers. They also have these wings to make sure that there is no side staining, and they also fit snugly around your panties because of these snap buttons. You just need to make sure that you choose the right sized pad and the panty to suit your requirement. For example, if you are a heavy bleeder, you have multiple other options along with a cloth pad that can help you. There are inter-labial pads which can help you to avoid side staining. There are period panties which come with an absorbent layer to give you the extra protection. I'm going to be providing a link to all these different sustainable menstrual products that I'm talking about in this video in the description box below. So please remember to check it out. You may find the initial cost of a reusable cloth pad to be higher in comparison to a disposable sanitary pad. But please remember that one single reusable cloth pad is going to last you for 3 to 5 years if you take proper care. So if you consider the overall expenses incurred, using a reusable cloth pad will still work out much cheaper than buying disposable sanitary pads every month. So washing your pads is not as disgusting as you may imagine. I'm also one of those people who hates washing clothes, and I had my own inhibitions before doing the switch. But I realized that this is a small price to pay for the much bigger advantage that it can give in return. The major difference between a disposable sanitary pad and your reusable cloth pad is the fact that your reusable cloth pad is not going to generate heaps of trash every month. In fact, it is going to help you have zero waste periods. You just need to wash your pad after every use, dry it, and then use it again. In order to wash cloth pad, you need to soak it in a mug of cold water for 30 minutes or more, add a mild detergent, squeeze the pad to remove everything, and then wash it with normal water. You do not have to use any brush. The pads are made of soft jersey material, so they do not stain. But just make sure that you do not soak your pads in hot water because that is going to set the stains. You can even toss your pads in washing machine after you've squeezed out everything. As far as possible, please line dry your cloth pads in the sun because sun acts as a natural sanitizer. In the rainy season, when there is no sun available, you can dry your cloth pads directly under the fan. The same way that you would change disposable sanitary pads. The only difference being you will have to carry back the used pad home. You can just fold your soiled pad in this manner and then put this in a leak-proof pouch like this, and you can carry it home. Don't worry, it's not going to be so disgusting. A used cloth pad does not stink as bad as a used sanitary pad. That is because sanitary pads contain chemicals which change the composition of the blood. But this is just cloth, so that doesn't contain anything like that. Now I'll be frank, there have been times when I was on a long trip and I did not have access to washing and drying my cloth pads. I didn't have sufficient stock of cloth pads with me, so I was forced to use disposable pads. But on short trips of 2 to 3 days, I have managed to only use cloth pads. However, because of COVID, all of us are anyway stuck indoors, and I don't think trips are happening anytime soon. So I guess this is the best time to give cloth pads a try. Remember, change always seems difficult at the beginning. So give yourself sufficient time to adapt to a new product. I'm sure you took time to adapt to a disposable sanitary pad when you first used it, right? So gradually introduce reusable cloth pads in your existing period routine. Analyze your own period and choose sustainable products which suit your requirement. There are manufacturers which sell full cycle kits which contain cloth pads of different sizes. Some manufacturers even sell DIY kits which let you stitch your own cloth pads. There are manufacturers which sell cloth pads with removable inserts. So I'm going to be providing a link to all these different products in the description box below, so you can have a look and make your own choice. That's it guys. Through this video, I hope I've managed to throw some light on sustainable menstruation options. I would like to conclude with only one thing. Periods are the most natural thing in this world, and we women do not have to feel bad about generating heaps of trash every month. There are good sustainable menstruation options which are available in the market today, and all of these have been made by keeping the modern woman in mind. But finally, the choice is yours. So I do hope you exercise your choice wisely. Thank you.